Manchester United is on a serious hunt for a backup striker for Rasmus Højlund. And guess what? Solutions are being crafted, one including what could be a swap deal that would see a player who is away from Old Trafford, banished long time ago by the boss, Erik ten Hag, now back to sender, and a player who formerly played for Arsenal. My name is Webb. Welcome to the United Sport, and let's get into this transfer talk now. Manchester United, as we saw in that win over Liverpool, obviously we need a backup striker for Rasmus Højlund. Come on, we had Rasmus Højlund return from injury, not at 100%, plays, and he was honestly one of our poor performers. You could see he was struggling. He wasn't 100% fit, but there were no options on the bench to come in and replace him as strikers. Well, we had two moments, for certain moments in the game, to rely on Harry Maguire for a goal because there were no strikers. These young players, the wingers, the Amads of this world, Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, try to take things in their own hands, and it worked. But you know, it cannot work like that for so long. So clearly, Man United, like we've always been saying, do need a backup striker who can come off the bench probably when Højlund is not performing and score the goals. So this is the case. Now, what we are getting from the Football Insider is that United seem to be, I think, short of cash. They don't seem to have a lot of money, yet they've got a lot of positions they do want to work on. So what they are doing now is to look for solutions. Remember, there is now a need for a natural left back as well. That was not on the initial plan. So if you think about the so many positions they've got to sort, including the centre back and then a Casemiro's replacement, they might not have so much money to spend. So they are using what they have to get what they need. And one of the swap deals being suggested is Donyell Malen coming in for Jadon Sancho. That's from Borussia Dortmund. Remember, Borussia Dortmund got back their man Jadon Sancho on loan after him falling out with Man United and Erik ten Hag, to be specific. Now, it is, of course, he has played a couple of games, assisted a few times, and scored a few goals, and it looks like it's beginning to look good for him. So, and Dortmund said they were open to the idea of having him back on a permanent because he's just now on a short term loan. So, it is believed now that Man United are saying, I mean, the boss, Erik ten Hag, has been for the longest time interested in his countryman. Donyell Malen. He's saying, and it's clear, Ten Hag might be in the long-term plans of INEOS. He could be staying, so they could want to stick to some of the players he has wanted. So the idea is, why not go to Borussia Dortmund, ask them for this boy who is valued at about 50 million euros or thereabout, just over 40 million pounds. That's how Borussia Dortmund value him. Remember, he played for Arsenal as a youth player from 2015 till 2017. Then they sold him to join PSV, and then, of course, that's when he moved on later on to end up at Borussia Dortmund. And since 2021, when he joined Borussia Dortmund, he has scored 13 goals in 33 appearances for Dortmund. So, and a couple of assists for himself. Now, what Erik ten Hag admires about this boy, he's 25, is he cannot only play as a striker, he can also play as a winger. So he has got this versatility to him, but he's also a hard worker. His work rate, pace, and energy levels are up there so high that Erik ten Hag has always been interested in him. So the plan now apparently is that United will want to go to Dortmund, try to get this kid on loan, this kid in a swap deal, and they keep Jadon Sancho. And I think for me, even if they don't include cash in that deal, I think it would be a win-win for either parties because we are getting rid of a player who's earning crazy amounts of money, but happy to be back at Borussia Dortmund. And we are getting a player who failed in England, failed as a youth player at Arsenal, and is coming back with their rivals as an important player. I think for me, there is no better win than that. But what is a fact, and what we should be clear about, is the fact that Manchester United do need to sign a backup striker for Rasmus Højlund. The last game against Liverpool was clearly clear evidence that we cannot play a full season with only Højlund. And probably that is one of the key players we need to solve. And we've pointed to so many of them. And of course, Sahu Girassi, who I will still up to now insist was my favorite, is there, valued at not even 20 million pounds from Stuttgart. He's there, one of the strikers we've been linked with. Then Donyell Malen has been one, but the edge with Malen is the fact that he plays for Borussia Dortmund, with whom we have a player who we're stuck with, a player we don't want that they want, our poison who could be their meat. But also with Borussia Dortmund, it's I think the fact that Malen has been wanted by the manager, who seems to be in the long-term plan. So it's going to be interesting to see what exactly it goes. But what I see and what I gather is that with the Champions League becoming increasingly unlikely for Man United, and I'm not here to try and cut and I mean and this or kill your energy levels and expectations. But the reality is the Champions League looks increasingly unlikely for Man United in terms of finishing among the top four, unless of course we go through the fifth. Because I think we shall finish at worst fifth, not sixth. I think we can push for fifth. If that happened, chances are we could be in the Champions League. But in the event that it doesn't happen, there might be not enough money for us to buy all the players we want in all these positions. So that's why we've got to exploit those swap options that are available to us, which for me I think is okay, because you use what you have to get what you need, isn't it? That's what they say. Use what you have to get what we need. And what we have now are players who are frustrated on loan, earning crazy wages, who could leave and could get us the players, young players who are hungry to come and perform for Man United, which would be good. But I'm imagining, and I think if we got Donyell, I don't think we would then have to go into the market to sign a wing on the right. If we sold Mason Greenwood, use that money for anything else, so something else, I don't think then we would need to go in for Michael Olise, because we don't even have the money. So if you got Malen who can play both as a forward and as a winger, bring him in on a swap deal. Try him out on that right wing. Yeah. Then let Garnacho go on the left. Sell Marcus Rashford. Up top, remain with Rasmus Højlund. Would that be an improvement? Probably. Or even if you choose to stay with Marcus Rashford, like Eric Ten Hag has been saying that Rashford is not leaving, then Donyell Malen will come in as a proper backup for all the three players up front, because he's a complete forward. Can come in as a number 9, can come in as inverted, because I think he's right-footed, or can come in as a wing on the right to back up Garnacho. So either way, I think with Donyell Malen, it's a win, and you bring in a player for free, if I would call it, not really for free, but without spending any cash, but a player who is giving you three options, who is bringing you some bit of depth, three dimensions to add to your team, which I think is something that has quite been lacking in the team. There's a bit of a lack of depth in the Man United squad. So, and on a good day, Malen can even play with Borussia Dortmund because he's good at assisting as well. He can assist Rasmus Højlund. So there's a bit of positives we can look at in signing Donyell Malen. And I'm hoping that, if the money is not there, he's a player we can look out. And being a Dutchman, fellow Dutchman with, of course, Ten Hag. And Ten Hag loves pointing to players that he knows. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, as a manager, you want to look to players you've worked with, or you've seen before, you know closely before, you followed closely. And for me, I've got no qualms with that. So that's the situation to do with swap deals. And it's not the only swap deal we are contemplating. There is more that I'll talk about, I think, later or tomorrow. But there are more swap deals that Man United is contemplating. There are other players we look at and say, we love this player, and if we sent this player the opposite way, it would make sense. Case in point is Harry Maguire and Lucas Paqueta. I'll talk about that next time. For now, I wanted to focus on the striker. My name is Webb. We need a replacement for Antony Martial. I'll catch you later.